Hey everybody, Barry here again. Something's wrong here. Much better. I made a shirt. This is so cool. I don't know if you can see it in any sense or not, but street racing is not a crime. Well, it is, but bleep it. This is really exciting. So this is the first t-shirt that I've made for the channel, and I made a bunch of stickers. They turned out really, really well, and I will be making more. I have some stuff on order, like waterproof vinyl, waterproof sticker paper, that kind of thing. So I make them all myself. This is not something that I go through any website or whatever. I just make them. My wife has a Cricut and a laser printer, and we just go to town with it and make some stickers and some t-shirts. So if anybody would like one of these, just give me a message on Facebook. My group is Station Road Rat Rods YouTube on Facebook. And yeah, you can have one of these. These are sick. I'm really excited. And I'm making a bunch more, like with the truck, with the van if somebody wants one, or a couple different, things that I've been known to say. But yeah, so I have to apologize for ending the last video on kind of a somber note, but it was a long day. It was 4:30 or 5 o'clock in the morning or something when I finished, and kind of rough shape because obviously this ain't gonna move. It does not want to move. I got to get it up to like 2,000, 2,500, and it'll crawl. It's not really good when you want to do burnouts, when you want to put max power in. So for anybody who hasn't seen the last video, the transmission won't move. Like, I'll put it down in drive. I can basically floor it with the brakes on and it will do nothing. All it does is drive the RPMs up. I tested just to see what kind of slippage it was. I held 20% throttle or 25% throttle, 4,000 RPMs at like 45 inches of mercury, or 45 kPa, sorry, which is basically idle, meaning there's no load whatsoever on the engine, when you should be able to floor it with the brakes on, and it only holds, say, 2,000, 2,500 RPM, depending on how tight the converter is. All that means it's not working. Since then, I have acquired, or I am about to acquire in this video, another van that has a 4L80 in it. It's an 07-ish Express, or I think it's a Chevy Express 2500, yeah. So it has a 4.8 in it, which is awesome. It runs, it drives, apparently. I haven't gone over to get it yet, but I'm gonna go get that today. It does run and drive, but I have to drive it up on the dollies and bring it down because the guy doesn't want me to drive it in town with no plates, no stickers, which of course that's illegal. Don't do it. I'm gonna put it on dollies. I guess right now it's my dinner break, so I'm gonna go pick at this thing for a little bit. I'm gonna start getting everything here ready to be taken out because of course this has to go on the ramp. The cradle gets unbolted, engine, cradle, transmission, everything lays on the floor, van goes up in the air, and I can change it like that, which is not serious, but the serious part is I have to remove everything. I'll pull off the intercooler piping, pull everything here off again. Turbo has to come off. All my wiring, probably maybe the PCM, but I don't think so actually. I think I can just unplug my 3 connectors back here and pull it off. That was my main reason for taking the extra probably 3 hours and wiring in all connectors for my PCM side, so that I don't have to go pull the whole harness off and all that junk. I can unplug my PCM harness and lay it on top of the engine, not have to touch a crank sensor wire, not have to touch the cam sensor wire, which is really jammed up back there. This will make it so much faster. I can unplug all that on the floor if I have to. In this scenario, I'm not changing an engine, so I don't even have to. All I gotta do is hold the connectors, the PCM connectors out of the way, unplug the transmission connectors. I think there's 2 or 3, 4 actually. There's 2 speed sensors, the main connector and the PRND neutral safety switch. And then just change transmission. This should be no time. But enough blabbering on. I'm gonna go pull some of this apart, and then we'll talk about the van in a little bit. Well, I'm getting there. My hands are dirty, so that's all good. The intercooler is out, and I had forgotten that the transmission cooler is mounted to the back of it. So I was fighting with it. I was like, why will this not come off? It's like, oh, that's why. So I got that disconnected. Those hoses were so hard to take off. But I got them off. They still look good. They're solid hoses. This is actual transmission cooler hose, rated for like 5 bajillion PSI or something like that. So I'm sure they'll be fine. Next thing is going to be the radiator. But it's like 2 minutes to 1 and I got to go back to work now. Got to get washed up. So I would say the next time you see me, it will be up at A&M getting the van. I got to blow up a tire and probably boost it, something like that. But I got a new set of cables there anyway, so I'll be able to get that done in no time, hopefully. And we'll get the van. And I just want to apologize for anybody who's seen me do this like 6 times since the beginning. It's just part of hot rodding. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. With this, it doesn't a whole lot more than it does. But hopefully when I get this transmission in, apparently it's a known good transmission. Gary said, hey man, I drove it from the shop. Should be good. And hello, Dwayne. Hello. Ah. So, yeah, we'll go up to A&M, get the transmission. We'll get the whole van, and then I'll put it here on the ramp, like where Dwayne is, and pull that garbage out. I'll put it in this garbage. Let's do it again, I guess. Well, I guess I could take the rad out, considering it's just like... Ew. Come on. Oh, that's why. All right, got it. Okay, attempt number 2. Are you serious? You just got to keep hooking up and stuff. So this, you can see pouring all over the floor, is not coolant. It's just tap water. So yeah, don't call any alarms on me. I'm prepared for this thing to blow up like a lot, so I only use tap water in the summer. I'll put some coolant in it before I store the van, but that's what it gets for now. And every time that it's overheated, it removes a little bit more scale from inside the engine and inside the radiator, so we're gonna call it fixed. Well, it's about 20 to 6, and it gets dark here real early in the fall, so kind of running out of time. I probably got an hour and a half of daylight left, so yeah, kind of want to get this done quick. So I am going to get up there, back the dollies into it, see if the battery is any good. If it is, then I can just get it running. If not, I got a set of cables brought with me to boost it. Hopefully it runs and it goes in drive and moves. That way I'll know. Man, this truck is bouncy. I need some shocks. But yeah, we're almost there. So as soon as I get there, we'll check it out, walk around the van, have a look at it. I'll probably pull the doghouse off just to see if the bell housing is cracked. If it is, then I'll get Justin to weld that one for me too. And well, if it's not cracked, that's even better. But we'll check it out in a second. Well, here we are. Here's the unit. This is a something. I don't know what year it is. I think it's like an 07-ish. 2500. It's a Chev, so I guess it's an Express. What does this say? 1106, so it is an 07. See if the keys left in it. Sweet. I imagine the battery's dead. Yep, not a gig. So that's fine. Let's see what's in it. And I think it's a 4.8. Yeah, it is. Okay, 4.8. Pretty much everything is all there. It said the alternator's gone. That makes sense. So I'm gonna hook the cables on there. See if we can get it running. Well, I have no idea if it's gonna run, but let's try it. That is so perfect. That is perfect. I guess I'll put it in drive and see if it'll move. Well, that's all required. So it doesn't have an alternator on it, and that battery is absolutely cooked, which is not really something that I had counted on. not really something I had planned for. So, is it going to work? I don't know. I might have to grab another battery, one of my other spare batteries at the shop, throw in this, and run it up on the dolly with that, because as soon as I pull the cables off of this, I expect it's going to go dead. So I'm going to get this Cadillac running, see if I can put some charge into that battery with it. Maybe I should just run down to the shop with the battery. I don't have an 8mm. Anyway, I'll figure something out. So I'll probably run to the shop and get my other front terminal battery, the one that's in the Caravan, maybe, because I think that's front terminal. And I'll come up and get this thing running. It runs phenomenal. I did not expect it to go whoa, 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 whoa. Obviously, it doesn't have any cats on it because the person who owns this van is smarter than I am. So, you know, scattered time you'll get lucky and there'll be cats left on it, but these guys know what they're doing. So, got a van. It goes in drive. It goes in reverse. It's got a flat tire, so I'll blow that up. But, man, this is 100% so far. I'm absolutely beat. Oh, man. So, I got the doghouse out. That thing that's that wide had to come out of a hole that's not that wide. Boy, that sucked. All right, well, let's see what we got. I see something that's peculiar. This is an 07, but it has a cam sensor right here. Now, I've seen this obviously on the 06s with the late Gen 3, early Gen 4 stuff. So it's a 58X reluctor for sure. But, it's got the old school truck intake too. On an 07. So I guess that makes this a late 06. Which I'm fine with. I didn't necessarily need another Trailblazer SS or Breadbox, you know, new style intake. Would have been cool, but didn't necessarily need it. But this one also doesn't have EGR, so that's kind of cool. What do we got for heads? Can't see anything because there's nothing but dots. And 862 heads, so I'm fine with that too. No Delco wires. This thing's in good shape. Now, look for bell housing cracks. Doesn't seem to be anything so far. No cracks that way. This might turn out to be okay. No cracks down there either. I've got high hopes for this thing. I think it's going to work. I hope it's going to work. So this could be really, really cool. Yeah, I'm excited. I cannot wait. Well, let's do a quick test and see if that battery is completely dead or not. I'm going to get it running and pull the lug off. See how many miles this has anyway. 293,000. That should do it. Man, it runs good. Oh yeah, that battery's cooked. I guess I gotta put a battery in it. So I just realized that I so much regret pulling that doghouse out because the manifolds are cut off right there. And now I have no protection. Before it had like this thick a heat shield on it, so whatever, I'm no pansy. I just won't be able to hear anything for the next couple days. Let's see if this junk is gonna run. Please work. Oh, it's so loud! Oh my gosh. Oh man. Oh yeah, it's got like no brakes. Oh boy. No power steering either, I forgot. So it has no power steering. I was gonna kind of hold the phone and drive over, but I'm gonna put you guys on, I can't get words, tripod. I'm gonna put you guys on the tripod and I'll drive over in the van and it'll be all good. Hopefully it doesn't burst into flames or shut off in the middle of the road. Those are two things I don't really... Oh, the tripod's in the van. I suck at this. Okay, we're all set. Ow, that's tight. There you are. And I broke it. Okay, tripod, legs falling off. Whatever. I'll be back in a second. Well, I hope I don't run over the dollies and slam into the camera. This thing sounds super cool. I didn't die. Dude, that is the longest van I think I've ever seen. Holy. I can't believe it actually worked. This stuff never works for me. Now that I said that, it will probably fall off on the way to shop. But seeing as I'm here with my new Station Road Rat Rod shirt on, I guess I should show you my sticker. This is the other one that I made out of vinyl. It's been on here now like all summer. And it's perfect. So I'll probably end up making a couple of those too if you guys are interested in it. They're pretty cool. They last a long time. They look cool. And it's not going to help you get out of a ticket. You'll probably end up getting a street racing charge, but you'll do it in style. Let's put some straps on this before I forget. I thought the transmission was slipping a minute ago, but we're just spinning. We're doing good so far. Well, I got the van on, and it's funny, anytime I'm doing something sketchy like this, Matt always shows, oh, I got left in first gear. Every time I'm doing something sketchy or dumb like this, Matt always shows up and he's like, hey, you want somebody to drive behind you so you don't get slammed into? But we'll check in a second when I get to the shop. Well, I made it back to the shop, and I parked in a puddle, and you can't see anything anyway, it's too dark. So I'm gonna go offload this thing and put it out back, and tomorrow, I guess I'll start preparing to haul this thing out. I realized that this is like 4 feet longer than the last van I scrapped. It has a 2-piece drive shaft, so that's really cool. If I blow up that drive shaft that's in the van now, I actually have a backup. That's deadly. And it's a steel drive shaft, so I can cut it down, do whatever I want with it. And obviously I know the 4L80E end will fit. All I have to do then is get a conversion U-joint for the Chev drive shaft to the Ford rear end, which is not a big deal because we stock Moog parts and I've got a crossover part number anyway, so it's perfect. Yeah, I'm gonna have the camera off for now because it's pitch black, so we'll check back tomorrow when I actually get at this thing. So I'm back in the shop. I got everything outside. I'm just gonna bring it in, but this video I'm not gonna get the transmission out of that because we got car cleanings coming in a couple days now in a row, so I don't want to tie up the ramp and end up having Dwayne clean cars outside because it's like it's terrible out. It's like 3 degrees and rain / probably snow coming, so we don't need that. Oh, I'm really excited. I passed 3,000 subscribers today. That's wicked. It's so fast. It's like 10 or 11 a day. That's wicked. You guys are awesome. So that means there's like a lot of new people here who probably haven't seen a lot of what this thing is, or what the rat rod is, or what I do here. So maybe check out a couple of the older videos, even some of the shorter ones, just to get a feel for it, because I'm just a small YouTube guy. This is I'm not much of it, but I go into detail into everything, whether it's a win, fail, or otherwise. Like I pretty well really could have just pulled this transmission out, put a new one in, pretended it was fine, everything would have been good, the internet wouldn't be making fun of me or giving me a hard time, but I like being true to the people who watch, and I always will be. Whether I mess up, whether everything goes fine, you're going to know it, and I'm going to be the one to tell you. So if I go out to do a burnout and it drops the transmission on the ground, it ain't getting edited out. You're going to see it. So thanks again for subscribing. Thanks for liking the videos and sharing, and I appreciate it a bunch. I never, ever thought I would get this far. I never thought I would get to 1,000, but that kind of crept up on me, and so has 3,000. So here's to another 500,000. I'm just kidding. Let's get some work done. I am going to continue pulling parts off of this thing, but it's a new day, and of course I have a new project because last night I woke up at 3 o'clock and I was like, I need knock sensors. I keep blowing stuff up due to detonation and knock, and I haven't had knock sensors on my last like 4 engines. Like, why? I keep turning the sensitivity down, then I'm like, well, it didn't have knock when it blew up, so I don't need the sensors. Science. So I had a post up earlier to see if the Gen 3 or Gen 4 knock sensors were better. The Gen 3 were 1 wire, which would be easy to hook up because of course I'd only need 1 wire hooked up. The Gen 4 stuff is 2 wire. Hello again, Dwayne. Hey. And one side was signal, one side is ground. And I don't have the harness here. Here it is. Good. And here are some other knock sensors, but they look kind of sketchy. I don't like that. What we have here is blue. Can't really see it well. Can't see it well at all. Here we go. Here's blue and gray. So the blue is over to this pin right here, which is the right of the alignment tab or the lock tab. So that would mean that the blue wire goes to this pin over on this side, and it's the signal wire, and then the gray wire I can just put to ground. And there's only 1 pin location for knock sensor on this one. I'll find out what it is on lt1swap.com. And I'm gonna have to put the wire back in because of course I deleted the wire. Back to the fact that I'm dumb again. Anyway, so I'll repin that wire. There's not a lot to it. I'm basically going to, I'll probably just delume some of this here. It's not really hard to get at. Maybe I'll even poke it in through here the best I can. Pin it in through here. I'll come down and maybe sneak down with one of these circuits down here, probably with the crank sensor circuit down the back, and run it down along by the starter into the first location on the passenger side, then down and under the oil pan maybe, and put it on the other side of the block. Now on the Gen 3 block, there's no spot to bolt these on the same place as the Gen 4 has, so I'll put it into one of the M10 holes on either side of the block. There's a handful anyway, maybe over by the engine mount, something like that. Now I am going to have to turn the sensitivity down a little bit because I'm running a turbo, which is common to produce some sort of a knock apparently, or like a ghost knock, false knock, and because I have solid engine mounts. So any road noise or any road vibrations, anything that goes up through the frame or in through the control arms is going to go directly to the block. So it is going to produce some sort of, like, say, false knock anyway. So I'll turn sensitivity down. I don't know what. I was thinking maybe 20%, so if anybody got an input on that, just let me know. Well, it's a hard spot. I can't really see very well, but right here, there's an M8 hole, and up here there's one. I realized after that this bolt is M8, not actually M10, but that one screws in there fine, so that can handle the front cylinders here. And I was kind of hoping to get back here because 5 and 7 is usually where I blow it up. But if it's knocking on the front, then I know it's knocking on the back. And we'll go over on the other side and try that one. So it looks like I'm not going to be able to get a knock sensor to mount to the passenger side of the block. Doesn't look like there's any threaded holes at all that'll fit it. The easiest way to do it is to look at this engine. These and these 3 here are all M10, and everything else is not threaded for M8 at all, except for the crank sensor right here, but obviously the plug-in will be in the way. Everything here is all M10. That doesn't even look like it's a threaded hole. I thought about bolting it to the bottom of the oil pan or something like that right here, but I'm not sure if that would be good. Usually I like to keep them high. So it looks like I might have to use the Gen 3 sensors, which I'm not against. The other ones are just, maybe they're better, I don't know. But I'll use these. These are fine. They're OE, and they look like they're in good shape. There's no corrosion or anything in them. And I can easily screw it in down here. I can just screw it right to the block there like that. Probably move it back to this hole back here. I know there's a lot of jumping around here, but I might actually screw it to the head. Somebody is going to come in and call me an idiot. But, well, combustion happens up in the cylinder head area. And I'd like to be at the 5.7 location, right back here, where I could screw it directly into the head, either at the lower port down here or the upper one, wherever. And that way I'd have, if any knock, it would be picked up pretty much right away, I imagine. I have seen people screw these into the head and say it works. I've never done it myself, so I can't say. But if I have one down here on the block, or even one right here where I have it screwed in there, and one on the other side, I can just run my wiring back through this harness here, up to the pin, and not have any issues with manifolds causing any heat issues on the wiring. If I gotta have the wiring run under the block, that's no issues at all. So I almost kind of like this, actually. Then I can run the wire across here, up along with, you know, throttle position or the alternator plug-in, something like that, and directly back into the main harness. And the same back here, I could run it in through the cam sensor wiring and run it up here. I think it'll work. Sometimes, well, I'm filming this as I go. So if I have a change of thought or a realization, you're right there with me. So we're doing this together. And if you're screaming at your screen going, stop, don't do it like that, just comment. I'll probably already have it done anyway. But if there's something that I don't see or that needs to be seen, then, you know, I appreciate all the comments. I have changed stuff on this vehicle based on your guys' suggestions, and I'll always listen. So if you do, just let me know. Knock sensors are screwed in. That one is right there in front of the head. The other one's in the back in the same location. So that's easy. I'm kind of bummed that I had to use these, but I've tuned with them before. I tuned the Cadillac with them. They work perfect. I was just hoping maybe for a little bit better, but take what you can get. So here is the original Gen 3 knock sensor harness with its single plug-in. The wires look fine down here. That one's kind of kinky looking, but I'll check continuity on it and check resistance on it. The issue with this one itself is, look how chewed up that one is. That has had some problems before. It's a good thing I'm not going to be using these connectors or anything. I'm going to be running each wire separately up until they cross over, join them into one, and put that pin directly into the PCM. I don't need connectors on this thing because of the way I have it set up. Only my outputs need connectors. So the knock sensor is going to come directly back here and go right into that, into those plugins anyway. So this is going to be, it should be pretty quick. Just going to do a quick resistance check in real time here. So I'm going to drive that probe in there and probably wreck the connector. We got 0.3 ohms. That's perfect. It's supposed to be 1 ohm per foot is max. This is 2 feet. We got less than half an ohm, so that's fine on that one. And this one here has 0.3 ohms. So the connector and wiring is perfect. I'll put a bit of dielectric grease in there and on this end also, just to be sure it's perfect and won't allow any corrosion in. Well, now that I know the wiring for that is good, I might as well address, I know I have more pressing matters at hand. It doesn't move. Why do I care if it knocks or not? But it's nice to know that I have all these things done before I get this ready to go out and drive, because when this is ready to move, I'm not concerned if the knock sensors are hooked up or not, and I'm just going to go drive it. I'm probably going to blow it up. So this is me showing myself restraint and getting all the small stuff done before I can actually drive it. It still doesn't have a shifter, but as soon as this goes in drive and moves, I'm going to go do a burnout. So I want to get all this stuff done while I can't move it. So basically, I'm just going to take this and go click, and then kind of put it back here somewhere or in under the throttle body and come out through over here and go back to harness. Instead of stripping this whole harness, This side here, I'm not too concerned about. I can put it in through. But instead of stripping the whole harness, I might run just a 2-wire piece of loom or something like that and just have it secured to the outside of the main harness and not have to go strip the works of that again, because that was a pain. And it looks clean, so it'll be good. I just have to find out which pin in here is the knock sensor reference or signal or whatever, and then I can just pin it in, no problem at all. Something I didn't realize, I thought both knock sensor wires went into one pin on the PCM, so that if either one of the sensors knocked, the PCM would pick it up. But right here we have, now this is on a blue PCM pin, 51 dark blue wire, which we have one here, which I think would be the light blue, and yeah, here's the other one, that's dark blue, so that makes sense, is the front knock sensor. And up here on number 11 is light blue rear knock sensor. So I'll go and put my dark blue wire on the front one. I had no idea. I always thought they went into the same one, and if one knocked, they did whatever, but hey, that's kind of cool. I'll see if there's a PID for rear knock sensor and front knock sensor, just to see if in a log one sensor over the other is picking up any knock, and that'll be kind of interesting to see. I don't know if there's anything I can do with it, because I can't really command timing per cylinder or per bank, but it'd be kind of neat to know anyway. That way I can check to see if my injector data is off, or if I got one injector that's lean or whatever. I'll probably do something with it, but I just like to see anyway. I'm gonna take these knock sensor wires and switch them out. That one goes in there, and now I can pin them into the correct locations. And by that, I mean I can go back to watching Sloppy do Fairmont videos. I'm rewatching all the old Fairmont videos that are really cool. So to get the wires that are going to pin into the PCM, I figured I'd go over to my scrap wire bucket, or buckets, because there's a lot of them, and look for a dark blue wire with a pin on it. Okay, that one's definitely long enough. Oh, but it doesn't have a pin on it. Anyway, you get the point. I'll dig wires out of here, connect them into there. Should be able to log knock. All right, well, this is kind of the cleanest way I could do it. This is the IAT wire, don't mind that one. Knock sensors in the cylinder head, comes back here around the water neck, away the belt, under the alternator, out to right here. I still got to tape that up a little bit. The other one goes to the back. I like it. I don't hate it at all. And I even loomed it, so that's like 3 times better than I normally do stuff. But yeah, so I'm going to finish this video up here, because in the next video, I'm going to pull the engine out of that like 4-day long van. I won't even be able to put it on the ramp. It's going to have to be like backed in right here. I'm going to have to take the transmission out there, get the forklift to pull the engine out, because it's way too long and awkward to put on that ramp, because it'll be like teetering, and I just don't need to die today. So that's it for this video. And next one's gonna get exciting. Next one after that's gonna get exciting. Then hopefully it's gonna be first drive. A little bit too early to be talking about that yet. But anyway, so I have knock sensors now. That's one more fail safe. I'll turn the sensitivity down a little tiny bit on that. But that's all later stuff when I get into tuning. So thanks again for watching. Thanks for sharing the videos, like, subscribe, all that stuff. And thanks to my patrons. I appreciate it all. And I will see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Have a good day, everybody.